Hip 90-90 is one of the best exercises and warm-ups that I use for kicks. Your legs are trying to be 290 degrees, so if you can see, right, my hips are relatively flat with my knee. So I'm in alignment here, so I should have one leg rotated up like I'm sitting on a table, and the other one out just like our kicking leg here. Once you get there and you can do this with no hands and you're relatively straight up, right, now you start to fold. Now one of the biggest things in here is that you'll start to lead with your chest, right, and all of a sudden you're just bowing to your shin bone, when in reality you want to think about pushing your hips and your belly button towards your shin. And it's like, it should feel tight, right? A really good cue is that you just stick your fingers in your hip well, and then you fold, and you feel that chest closing in, right? If you've done a pike before, it's a similar feeling of compression, right? And then I drive myself out, right? And then from here, I'll just plant. You'll notice that I use my fingertips more than my palm because I want to keep the weight mainly on my hips, right? So I'm looking in, right? I'm just going to rotate off the floor, right? Just working that in, pulling off out of outside, bringing it into internal rotation, right? Same thing on the other side. This one's going to be the harder one, trying to find more external rotation when we're already at its max, typically, right? And then from there, even just planting and just lifting that front shin bone right off the floor, trying not to use our chest, right? And that's just all on the front leg here, right? That's a premise of most of my exercises that I do to keep my hips healthy, right? Then the back leg, I'm really looking for just rotation, right? Getting behind that knee as I bring my butt cheek to the floor here, or pushing my hip forward, right? Feeling it twist in towards the other leg, right? Waking up that hip flexor as it pinches in, extending it out, pushing here. This is really like the hardest one in here. A good way to visualize this is as I'm sitting back, I'm almost pushing with my knee the opposite direction here. And then with my heel, as I rotate out, I'm driving myself forward and pinching that hip in, right? External rotation just as I lift out of internal rotation. Now this is the one that might be a little bit weaker for you, is all of a sudden make sure that you stay tall, don't crouch yourself, and don't give your hip space. But all of a sudden you start lifting your back ankle and internally rotating off without dropping your chest with it, but actually using your hip to lift that. You might get a nasty little cramp here or in the back of your leg as you try to figure out this movement. This is really important. And then the last one here is literally just lifting off, right? And I'm just going ahead, plant my hands if I need the extra challenge. Maybe all of a sudden I get a little bit closer, so it's really tight. I'm really trying to find the end range of this stretch. And when it goes to transfer over, you really try to just lift that knee as wide as you can and drop it over to the other side, right? Once again, trying to find that 90-90 position, A-okay to correct. And you just follow through those same exercises, same movements back here. And honestly, that in of itself is just an exercise. Great warm up, great cool down, just working your hips the whole time.